Ukraine has found a potent and highly strategic way to weaken Russia's military operations, targeting the lifeblood of its war machine, oil. As fuel supplies play a crucial role in maintaining Russia's military momentum, Ukraine has been systematically attacking Russia's oil refineries, delivering a crippling blow not just to Russia's military capacity, but also to its economy, which remains heavily reliant on its oil industry despite ongoing Western sanctions. Ukraine's latest bold strike, Tenneco Oil Refinery, one of the most daring and high-profile attacks, came on January 11th, when Ukraine launched a long-range drone strike on the Tenneco Oil Refinery, located in the city of Nizhnekamsk, deep in Russian territory, over 800 miles from Ukraine's front lines. This strategic attack demonstrates that Ukraine has not only developed the capability to strike deep within Russia's borders, but it has also become increasingly audacious in targeting critical infrastructure. The Tenneco refinery, considered one of the largest and most modern oil processing plants in Russia, is a key player in Russia's energy sector. With an annual capacity to refine up to 16 million tons of crude oil, Tenneco produces vital products like diesel and gasoline, which are used both for domestic consumption and military operations. The refinery's importance cannot be overstated, as it supplies fuel to both civilian vehicles and military vehicles, including tanks, trucks, and aircraft used by the Russian army on the front lines. The economic impact strangling Russia's oil industry. Ukraine's precision strikes on these facilities directly affect Russia's ability to refine crude oil into usable fuel. Despite Western sanctions aimed at reducing Russia's oil exports, the country has been able to maintain a degree of resilience with modest growth in its oil industry. For instance, in 2022, Russia's diesel production grew by 6%, and gasoline production grew by 4.3%. However, these figures began to taper off in 2023, reflecting the impact of sanctions. Nonetheless, Russia has managed to sustain its oil exports, especially to countries like China and India, albeit at a reduced rate. By knocking out key refineries like Tenneco, Ukraine forces Russia into a difficult position. A loss of such a major refinery means that Russia is either unable to refine its oil or must sell it raw, generating significantly lower profits. Additionally, without the capacity to refine the oil, Russia is left with large quantities of crude oil that are either stored or transported to other facilities for refinement, leading to logistical headaches and further economic damage. Russia's denial and propaganda footage released shortly after the Tenneco strike showed flames and thick smoke rising from the refinery, yet Russia's propaganda machine quickly went to work to downplay the attack. The press service of the Republic of Tatarstan, the region where Tenneco is located, initially claimed there had been no fire at all. Instead, it was described as a mock evacuation drill, with the glowing lights seen in the footage attributed to flares used during this drill. However, this narrative falters under scrutiny. The presence of thick smoke and the intense orange glow visible in the footage suggest otherwise. It's far more plausible that the refinery sustained significant damage, consistent with the kind of damage typically caused by drone strikes targeting high-value facilities. Additionally, reports from local authorities confirmed that flights were grounded at nearby airports in response to the drone attack, further evidence that the strike was not a drill, but a successful operation by Ukraine. Strangling Russia's military. The strategic value of targeting oil refineries is clear. By destroying or severely damaging Russia's refining capacity, Ukraine can disrupt the flow of essential fuel to Russian military units on the front lines. This, in turn, significantly hampers Russia's ability to conduct sustained military operations, especially in regions like Donetsk, where heavy tank and vehicle use is pivotal for territorial gains. Ukraine's strikes also force Russian forces to rely on less efficient methods of transportation, making them more vulnerable to Ukrainian defenses. With less fuel available, Russian forces are compelled to conduct more operations on foot, significantly increasing their casualties and reducing their ability to maintain territorial pressure on Ukraine. This shift not only diminishes the effectiveness of Russia's military, but it also drains its manpower, adding pressure to an already overstretched army. Ukraine's drone campaign, a long-term strategy. The strike on Tenneco is far from an isolated incident. In fact, this attack was part of a broader strategy by Ukraine to target Russia's oil infrastructure. Previous drone strikes have targeted other key refineries and oil facilities, including the Bashkiria region's Gazprom-owned plant and the Slavyansk refinery in the Krasnodar region. Each strike is carefully calculated to damage specific parts of the refining process, such as catalytic cracking units and distillation towers, which are essential for turning crude oil into usable fuel products. For example, in April 2024, a Ukrainian drone struck a unit at the Tenneco refinery, causing a small fire, but the damage was not significant enough to halt operations. However, this earlier strike highlighted the potential for Ukraine to disrupt critical units within the refinery. A more successful strike, like the one in January 2025, can cripple entire sections of the refinery, causing long-term production delays and forcing Russia to scramble for alternative solutions. Russia's defensive measures and failures. In response to these persistent strikes, Russia has taken measures to protect its refineries. According to reports from May 2024, Russia's energy ministry has begun installing missile defense systems at high-risk refineries, while refinery operators have covered facilities with metallic nets and deployed mobile air defense teams armed with machine guns to shoot down incoming drones. However, these defenses are proving largely ineffective. As demonstrated by the January 2025 strike on Tenneco, Ukraine's long-range drones can easily evade Russia's defensive measures, causing significant damage to key facilities. Furthermore, the lack of advanced anti-drone technology and the overwhelming cost of reinforcing these facilities means that Russia is unable to fully protect its most valuable oil infrastructure. The broader impact on Russia's economy and public sentiment. These attacks on oil refineries are not only strategic military moves, but also a way to exert economic pressure on Russia. Oil is a cornerstone of Russia's economy, and each attack on an oil refinery chips away at the resources available to the Kremlin. The reduction in refining capacity has already led to price increases in refined products, such as gasoline and diesel, both within Russia and in global markets. These price hikes, combined with existing inflationary pressures and a cost of living crisis, exacerbate the economic strain on Russian civilians. By targeting oil refineries, Ukraine also creates symbolic victories. It demonstrates that even from behind enemy lines, it has the ability to inflict severe damage on Russia's most valuable resources. This strategy serves as both a military and psychological blow, showing the Russian public that their government cannot fully protect the infrastructure that sustains their way of life. While Ukraine's strategy of targeting Russia's oil refineries is undoubtedly effective, it comes with risks. The U.S., under President-elect Donald Trump, may push for negotiations between Ukraine and Russia, potentially calling for a cessation of these strikes. However, since Ukraine is carrying out these attacks largely with its own drone technology, it may be less inclined to heed such calls, especially if it believes that continued pressure will force Russia to seek peace sooner rather than later. Moreover, Russia is likely to retaliate against Ukrainian oil infrastructure, as seen with its attacks on the Kremenchuk refinery in 2023 and 2024. As the war continues to unfold, it's likely that we will see more of these strikes as Ukraine seeks to maintain its momentum and force Russia to the negotiating table.